Michelle Obama is out with a little bit of news. She's finally revealing why she was MIA at Donald Trump's inauguration. Yeah, so she's got this little podcast that's just failing miserably, and I mean miserably, in the ratings. For sure. And by the way, we're at 700,000, so we're celebrating here on YouTube. Awesome news. Thank you guys for everything you do to make this a success. But I'm pretty sure that we're doing better than her. And, well, I'm no Michelle Obama. Hopefully I'm a heck of a lot better. But anyway, she's got this podcast with a lot of marketing dollars behind her. And so now she's doing this whole thing about why she skipped the Trump inauguration. And, well, let's just say the punchline is pretty despicable, like really despicable. Here we go.
Keep pushing and keep striving. And so practicing no in a very different way intentionally. But then this is what makes it hard because, my decision to skip the inauguration, what people don't realize, or my decision to make choices at the beginning of this year that suited me were met with such ridicule and criticism. Like people couldn't believe that I was saying no for any other reason, that they had to assume that my marriage was falling apart. Right. It's like, while I'm here really trying to own my life and intentionally practice making the choice that was right for me, and it took everything in my power to not do the thing that was right or that was perceived as right, but do the thing that was right for me. That was a hard thing for me to do. I had to basically trick myself out of it. And it started with not having anything to wear. I mean, I had affirmatively, because I'm always prepared for any funeral, anything. I walk around with the right dress. I travel with clothes just in case something pops off. So I was like, if I'm not going to do this thing, I got to tell my team, I don't even want to have a dress ready. Right? Because it's so easy to just say, let me do the right thing.
But then you become a shock absorber. And that's what women are, shock absorbers. And that's exhausting. And it's not healthy. It is not healthy. You've had to be shock absorbers for your husband, for your children, for your mom, for your family, your loved ones, because of where you were sitting in the public eye. That's not fair to you. When do you ever get to live for you? I applaud you. I'm happy that you are taking care of yourself in the way that you need to.
Okay. So, the headline being she didn't have anything to wear. I guess that's the idea here. That's why she skipped the Trump inauguration. She just didn't have anything to wear. That's what she didn't want to do it. That's the point of this, right? Like she did not want to do her quote unquote duty. As the former first lady for 8 years, I'm sorry, Michelle Obama, you own a place in history, whether you like it or not, whether we like it or not. You know what, honey, you're there. And as a result of that, you need to actually step up to the plate and do the right thing now and then. Which means you should have been at Jimmy Carter's funeral too, for goodness sakes. And you shouldn't get so partisan as to say you're not going to show up at an inauguration for the 45th president of the United States. I mean, wow, right? Wow. There's something really fundamentally wrong with somebody thinking that they can turn off all responsibility. That's what she is. I heard years ago from an agent that was at William Morris. She was coming in for some meeting, and this was like really a long time ago. This is probably before she left the White House. Actually, it was way, way, way before that. Way before that, because she was still in the White House. Maybe he was running for a second term. I'm just trying to put the numbers in order in my head. And I had heard from an agent there that she had come in to meet with them at William Morris. And the upshot of it was they learned she did not want to work very hard. And that kind of told me a lot way back when. So I was sort of surprised, she got this podcast. She doesn't think you're going to work very hard. I guess not. They just, shoot the you-know-what. They talk about living this moral high ground. there on the Michelle Obama show. She brings in her friends. There's no real production or thought about anything really. And she's certainly not trying to encourage people to take responsibility for themselves or their families or, I don't know, the country, history, the fact that you were there. She doesn't care about that. Is she lazy? I don't know. That was the rap on her back at the agency. She was lazy. She was lazy and she didn't want to do stuff, so they couldn't really find her a gig. Maybe they could get her a book, right? Because somebody else could write it. She didn't want to have to do much. And clearly, she still does not want to have to do much. She didn't want to show up for Jimmy's funeral. I'm sorry, he's like kind of, the messiah of the Democrat Party, for goodness sakes. That was one you kind of needed to go to, and nor did she want to show up for part of history, despite the fact that she's part of it for 8 years for the inauguration of one President Trump. It's just wrong. Michelle Obama is not doing her measly little 2,000 viewers over there on that show. I mean, you're going to see, she doesn't count you guys as a viewer, I'm guessing. But, her fans that are watching this show, she's not doing them any favors. Because the message should be, you know what? Sometimes you got to suck it up. And you got to do crap that you do not want to do. You know why? Because you owe it to your family. You owe it to society. You owe it to the country. It's not all about you, Michelle. It's really not. Sometimes it's bigger than you. Jimmy Carter, she didn't show up for that one. I actually thought, gosh, maybe she's sick. Let me give her the benefit of the doubt. The poor woman may have an illness. And then my next conclusion, when I found out she was perfectly fine and healthy, was, the marriage has to be an absolute mess. And she's here saying, how dare you make that assumption about me? What do you think we're going to say? Michelle, what do you think? Other than, you're lazy, you're all about you, or your marriage is broken. I guess you're just lazy and it's all about you. That's what we've learned from this little episode that she, quote unquote, did not have a dress to wear to. Honestly, it's a scary world in which we live, in which, this woman, here it is, the former lawyer noted, and you heard it just there, that I didn't have any event-ready clothes to wear, so I had to tell my team, you know what, that was the end of it. Give me a break. You know what? American values are all about hard work and perseverance and being willing to just get up and suck it up every single day. Leslie, you've been here with me back when we had 100 viewers. I'm looking at her note right there. David, you were one of the first as well. Thank you for your generosity. That is really, really, really sweet. I appreciate it so much, you guys. Mostly I appreciate that you have helped create this community, because it's not easy, right? We've done this together, and guess what? I've done it here, barely knowing how to work half this equipment. Leslie would be like, sound's not working today, sound's not working. Anyway, the reality is sometimes you do things in life because it's what you need to do. And the value of that and the value of perseverance and hard work, that should never be underestimated. Nobody's going to give you anything. That's not the American way. We work for it, we earn it, and we love the process. Thank you so much for helping us get to this 700,000 subs achievement. We're beating Michelle. I will see you back here live again tomorrow for another round.